good day to start Twitter wars.
What? I might not be able to make a new Star Wars film. Who reported this? Mike Zeroh. You mean that guy we made fun of during the production of The Last Jedi because he posted stuff that he clarified wasn't real, but he just reported on it anyway? Oh, yeah. I better go ahead and make a joke tweet about that. Yeah, totally a good idea. Yeah. Twitter War with Star Wars fans number 59 commenced. Alrighty, let's see how that Twitter war is going on with me. See how well it's doing. Oh. Okay, maybe I might as well just, delete that. Let's delete that. Yeah, let's delete that and never talk about this again. Yeah, I fucked up. Okay, Rian Johnson just literally crossed the fucking line when it comes to his treatment of Star Wars fans online. And this is just like, to quote Star Wars Only, Rian Johnson has gone batshit crazy, or gone insane, so to speak. He's literally gone fucking insane. I really do not understand how the hell he's gotten away with this, or why no one has really called him out on it. But this time he fucked up, and literally no one can really defend him on this anymore. And if you are still defending him over this, if you're one of those people who are still defending him over his treatment of Star Wars fans, take a look at this case. Just take a look at this case. Okay? You will be like, oh my god, what in the fuck is he doing? Because what the fuck is he doing? He just literally went out and personally criticized a Star Wars YouTuber for saying that he might not be able to make his Star Wars trilogy. This is over one movie. I've already said my piece on how I don't think Rian Johnson, based on his treatment of Star Wars fans on Twitter, that he is a good person personally. Because this is how you handle yourself on Twitter, which is a personal site for people using personal means. Then I do not know. Then I can't imagine really what he does with the people in his own personal life. I mean, yeah, I've seen the stuff on the special features of the Star Wars Last Jedi thing. He seems like a genuinely nice guy when he's working. But if that's how he handles himself personally, I do not know what is his deal. But anyway, if I didn't want to report on this because it had already been done to death, and I was like, I'm not sure what I'm going to get by joining the bandwagon on this, but basically, it was reported over a few weeks ago that Rian Johnson would be getting a new Star Wars trilogy. Or no, let me rephrase that. His new Star Wars trilogy was getting canned because of the box office bomb that was Solo: A Star Wars Story, which I still haven't seen. And I'm gonna get it when it comes out on Blu-ray, but just for the hell of it. I just want to see how it is. Because even people who like The Last Jedi said that, Solo sucks, and a bunch of people were like, it's unnecessary. It's like, I agreed it was unnecessary, but is it a bad film? I'm not sure. Alright, but I just want to see how it is. Because I wasn't gonna see it anyway. I didn't join in on a fucking boycott. Like, I mean, honestly, I mean, if people wanted to boycott, do it. I don't give a shit. I wasn't going to be able to see it anyway. It's not like I had a choice in that matter. And so, after Solo, there was a lot of reports coming out that a lot of the Star Wars stuff wasn't really going to happen. Like, the Boba Fett movie wasn't going to be made, and James Mangold kind of threw a fit on Twitter, but honestly, I just think that he wanted to make a Boba Fett movie, and him throwing his fit on Twitter was just like, he wasn't really throwing a fit. He was just like, he just defended Rian Johnson. And, all that stuff. And I honestly think that the only reason he did that, because he wanted to make the Boba Fett movie. And, he just wanted to find some way to try to keep that happening. So he just, kind of just defended Rian Johnson to appease the people at Lucasfilm or something like that. I don't know the entire thing. But basically, a few weeks ago, it was reported that Rian was not going to be getting his Star Wars trilogy anymore. That since, Solo bombed and they were focusing mainly on, Episode 9 for right now, that his trilogy wasn't going to happen. And a lot of people were really ecstatic about this. I was ecstatic about it because, he doesn't really deserve to be making Star Wars films after, The Last Jedi, because just based on his treatment of the fans alone. I mean, I wouldn't give him another movie at all. And then, But a couple of days ago, or at least a few days ago, he came out on Twitter. Or somebody asked him if his trilogy was still happening. He said, Ryan's like, hell yeah, my trilogy's still happening. And then, a lot of people were like, shit. But then Ryan, I guess, found out that the guy who did this, who reported on it, was this guy named Mike Zeroh. Mike Zeroh, he's basically like your Star Wars equivalent to a tabloid newspaper, only he's more objective, and he very clearly clarifies that what he's reporting isn't the holy grail of truth. Like, he at least says that, hey, this my word isn't law. This is just rumor. This is just a rumor mill, okay? This is basically like what ESPN does with all of its stuff. They always have a rumor mill, or at least what they did before they became the most politicized thing in sports history. And so you have that. And I guess Ryan found out, and he did not take too kindly. And then he basically went out on Twitter, and guess what he did on Twitter? He basically said that Mike Zeroh was his production team's inside joke, and that whenever anything goes wrong, they blamed it on Mike Zeroh. And now I will say this was a joke, alright? We need to clarify this was a joke. Okay, and I love jokes. Jokes are fine, depending on the context. And this was not a good taste joke. Honestly, because basically all Mike Zeroh does a rumor mill thing. It's not the greatest job in the world. I don't exactly agree that that's the greatest thing you should be doing with your time, like, analyzing stuff in the entertainment industry. But if you want to do that, that's your thing. But it seems that basically, like, Ryan just went out and blamed this Mike Zeroh guy for everything going on surrounding this new movie that won't be made, allegedly. And, there's a lot of ins and outs to the situation, a lot of crazy stuff happening with Lucasfilm. It's been out of control, especially since, the merger with Disney. Lucasfilm's just gotten a little weird. Okay, now I have to specify, but like I said, Lucasfilm's been going crazy and it hasn't been run well. And, these tweets by Ryan, I think they were done in poor taste, but, it was done in poor taste, but he did mean it as a joke. So we have to clarify that, yes, what he said was dumb, but it was a joke. But I do not understand why Ryan thought that was a good idea. You're just going to go out there and say, fuck it, I'm just going to go out there and criticize this guy just for reporting a rumor that most people believe to be real based on, stuff going on around us. But he still said, it's not, but I didn't watch Mike Zeroh's video on it. But his normal thing is, from what I've heard, I report on this stuff, and whatever happens is what's going to happen. I don't know if it's true or not, and unless it does be confirmed true, then I'm just reporting on the rumors. But Ryan seemed to be wanting to go out there and basically blame Mike Zeroh for this. But like I said, he did it in a joke. But think about what he said then. All right, he said, like, he started off, I was like, oh, this was started off because of this Mike Zeroh guy. He's like, ha ha ha. Starts laughing dismissively, like, oh my god, that's so dumb. And basically, said that, he's like, they talk trash about him in private, which you can do with some people, but when you're talking about people just doing their jobs, I mean, that's kind of cold. That's kind of malice. And so, basically, okay, that's dumb. You don't go after Star Wars fans like that. You don't go after fans of any kind like that. And that's the big problem that people were having. That's why a lot of people criticized him so much on Twitter that I think he started to realize, holy crap, this was a bad idea. And, I regret saying that. That's honestly what I think. I think Ryan was like, holy crap, what have I done? He's like, this is kind of like what's going on with Kevin Harvick and Ross Chastain right now. If you ever follow NASCAR, he kind of got into an incident yesterday with them while they were racing at Darlington, and they messed with each other, and then Kevin kind of hurt got into him personally, but I think Kevin did regret saying that type of stuff to him, saying that he's not going to get any more driver opportunities or something like that. This is kind of like that equivalent, only on a much worse scale, because this isn't like a fellow driver. This is just a dude who just does stuff on the internet. Rian Johnson, however, he's a freaking Star Wars director who helmed the last Star Wars movie. He helmed the last Star Wars movie. No, he wrote and directed it. He had total control on it. Okay, that is the big difference here. This isn't a petty spite between, two drivers. This isn't a petty spite between people in the same profession. This is people in totally different professions. One guy with tons more power going after a guy who does not have as much power just because he said something he didn't like. Alright? That's pretty fucking dumb. Alright? I don't have to explain why it's pretty fucking dumb, because I just did. It's fucking dumb. You don't go after someone who's lower on the totem pole in terms of, how in terms of your job security and whatever. Alright? Like I said, I don't think Rian really meant it as malice, but he still did it. He still did it, and that's kind of indicative is like where his head's at. It's like he always sees the worst in people who are criticizing him instead of trying to seeing the things that are going on around him and kind of making an assumption about some of this stuff. But he just goes out there, doesn't even try to make a lick of connection with the realism going on in these scenarios. He just freaking goes out there and attacks Mike Zeroh just for doing his job. All he did was report. He didn't say this was true. He probably gave some opinions that this might be what's happening, but it's like, I don't know. This isn't my call. But he's just, based on the things I've seen, this might be more believable if it does happen. But it's just like, I mean, seriously, it's like, Rian, what in the fuck are you doing? Like, seriously, I do not know what is going through Rian's head when he gets into these petty battles with Star Wars fans. I really don't. And this one, alright, and this guy is just it's the equivalent of a tabloid newspaper, only they are more objective and they actually tell the fucking truth in what they're reporting. Alright, and that gives me a little bit more respect to Mike Zeroh than, say, to people that work at the National Enquirer or some shit. But, I mean, for God's sakes, I just really don't understand what Rian's deal is, okay? Now, I can understand you thinking that, some of the fan outrage was a little uncalled for. And yes, some of the fan outrage towards you was a little uncalled for. But not most of it. Most people weren't criticizing you personally. They weren't saying that you're the bastard son of 1,000 demons. Or something like that. Or you're Freddy Krueger and the son of 1,000, the bastard of 1,000 men. Or whatever. Or 100 men like that was in Nightmare on Elm Street 5. But I mean, I'm honestly just thinking here, what in the hell, man? And I think this is what most people are thinking right now in regards to Rian, is just, what in the hell do you think you're doing? Alright, and that's just me. That's just me right now. It's just, I really don't understand his conundrum with everybody. He just has this big old stick up his ass just because a lot of people don't like his movie. Alright, and a lot of people, they want people to like their movie. When they make a movie, I want people to like it. But knowing what we know about Rian, and, all this stuff about, his real goals on what he wanted to do with this movie, like he said that there was an interview from the long lost past that he basically wanted to make the movie the most divisive thing in history, and that's what he wanted to be remembered for. All right, that's pretty bad in terms of this type of stuff. And it's just a lot of people just don't like him because of that. They feel like he did it just out of personal preference, not actually trying to make the best possible movie that he could, but just because he wanted to be an asshole, and that's what he wanted to be remembered by for some reason. And it's just, I'm just sitting here like, Rian, I don't understand this. I really want to know why you think this way. Or maybe he saw the stuff from, the outrage of the prequels, and maybe he was doing this as, a direct response to Mr. Plinkett or something. Even though the guys at Red Letter Media said they liked Looper, which was, his big breakout film. And it's just like, dude, I seriously want to know your perspective, right? And like I said, I'm being fair with him, alright? I've been fair with him since the movie came out. I was actually on his side when the movie came out. But the more I learned about him, the more I was like, I don't really like this guy. And I really don't like this guy. And now I really, really, really don't like this guy. But I'm being fair, because he deleted those tweets. When he realized the gravity of his mistake, he's like, oh shit, I made a mistake. And then he deleted the tweet. So I was like, I respect him for that. Alright? That means he realized he did something wrong. But I mean, I just really don't understand what would make you go out there and just do something stupid like that to begin with. I'm just like, I'm just flabbergasted. I just cannot understand why you would think that's a good idea. Why? What in the hell makes you think that that is like the best possible thing to do in this scenario? I really want to know. I just really want to know. I mean, I would love to have a conversation with Ryan about this. Alright, but if Ryan, seriously, if you're gonna keep saying this type of shit on Twitter about Star Wars fans, if you're gonna keep calling them sexist man babies and then go out there and basically become the definition of a man baby, I mean, honestly, I don't know. I don't know how you're gonna get a bunch of respect from people who are even casual Star Wars fans. From the people, or even the people, alright, I'm betting even people who liked your film are like, this is a little too far. Ryan, you gotta stop it. Alright, and I've already said my piece about Kelly Marie Tran and all that type of stuff. And how I thought the way she handled, you know, her harassment thing on Instagram was pretty piss poor. Okay, now Ryan, I've been saying, he has been handling this entire situation with Star Wars fans in the most piss poor fashion ever. Alright, this is like, literally, I never thought I'd see the day where a director is going out there and insulting fans because they didn't like a certain movie. Alright, this is BioWare level shit. Alright, BioWare basically did that with Andromeda. They even did that as so far back as freaking Mass Effect 3. So I'm just sitting here like, I never thought I'd see the day when it came to film. Because video game directors, they're more prone to do that because, you know, they're video game directors. They want to do their thing. They're more connected with the fans because they share a common interest in that type of, you know, entertainment medium. So it's just like, I'm just sitting here watching Ryan. I assume he likes Star Wars. I assume he's always liked Star Wars, you know, since as a kid. I assumed he was a probably pretty nice guy at one point. But honestly, seeing all this shit just coming out, I'm just like, Ryan, I want to be on your side, Ryan, but I can't be on your side. Alright, now, I'm definitely not going to be on your side when it comes to things like, you know, The Last Jedi, okay? That movie was trash. But honestly, if you could do a good deal, if you could do something with, like, you know, your Star Wars trilogy, to your new Star Wars trilogy, like, if you could do something with that to make me think, oh, this is actually pretty good, that this is a step in the right direction, I would have loved to see it. But the way you messed up on The Last Jedi, then topped that all off, going out there and calling every fan who hated the movie a racist, sexist, bigot, homophobe, or blah, 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 doing all these stupid talking points, that's pathetic. That's absolutely pathetic, and that's why I'm not going to see it if it ever does get made. And I'm just sickened, Ryan. I'm just sickened. Alright? And this is also a message to all the people who are out there still defending Ryan over this stuff. If you're seriously going to go out there and still defend Ryan over this shit, even though he's going after people personally now, or at least he did for 1 second and then he decided not to, alright, I don't care. If he did that, and if he did this and he didn't delete his tweets and he defended it and was standing by it, if he still does that, like, after all this, then, I mean, it's like, how can you still defend him? How can you seriously say that this dude is a good guy? How can you seriously say that Rian Johnson is a good person? Because this is just ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And it's just, you know, indicative of where we are, you know, culturally. Because, you know, we're in a culture of outrage and blah, blah, blah. Whatever. It's just, you know, this is just pathetic. It's dumb and pathetic, and honestly, Ryan shouldn't be, just seeing all this stuff in the way that he's handled himself personally, I do not think he should be able to make this movie. Or his trilogy. He should not be able to make another Star Wars movie again. Now, I'm not saying that he shouldn't, you know, be, like, basically blacklisted out of Hollywood just because he's being a tool on Twitter. But he should not be able to make another Star Wars movie just based on what the fans have been saying. You know, and based on what he's been doing, you know, he just shouldn't be able to make it. He just shouldn't be able to make it. He has no There's no chance of me, if I were the head of Lucasfilm or Disney, if I were Bob Iger, I'd be telling you, get the fuck out. Like, right now. Like, you're fired. That is exactly what I'd be saying. The sad thing is, Ryan's probably not going to get fired just because he's Rian Johnson. Alright, I know Bob Iger wants Kathleen Kennedy out. That's, like, no secret at this point. He wants Kathleen Kennedy out. And it's, you know, been rumored that Johnson's going with her. That Johnson and Kathleen are going to get fired in a 2-1 puncher. But Ryan still hasn't been fired yet. Alright, especially after the stuff he was doing early on and, you know, after the release of The Last Jedi. It's like, he still hasn't been fired despite the fact that he's been acting in the most unprofessional ways possible. Alright, when you're when you're in a profession like this, you know, where you have the eyes of the entire galaxy upon you, you don't just go out there and basically blacklist, you know, straw man everybody's arguments to, oh, you hate women, or, oh, you hate me just because I hate you, or something like that. Well, actually, some people do think like that, but I mean, like, he straw man's perspectives in, you don't know what Star Wars is, and then he tries to troll them into talking about, like, other things about Star Wars that aren't even relevant in the conversation, and it's just like, Ryan, just stop. Just stop. If you want to have a job or a future as a Hollywood director, just stop it. Okay? Like, if you keep this up, you're probably going to end up like John Carpenter, only John Carpenter was screwed out of a Hollywood job. Like, he was screwed out of a lot of opportunities with Hollywood because Hollywood fucked up with him. You might get taken out of Hollywood doing stuff with Hollywood because you're being a fucking moron. Just stop it, man. And it's just, like I said, this is just really sad that, you know, he's getting away with it. If he does end up leaving with Kathleen Kennedy in September, like it's been rumored to happen, then yes, he deserves to go. He absolutely does not need to have a job at Lucasfilm or at Disney if he's just going to keep acting like a prick like this. So anyway, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this little rant. And I hope you liked that opening skit. That's I mean, I wasn't really able to do skits like that. I mean, at least try to do them as well as I did in that one. But I basically, you know, I used my video editing app and I edited out some stuff. And, you know, I was able to make it coherent, like an actual movie or something. Maybe even do it like a Decker Shadow skit or something like that. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. I'll try to be at you with something that isn't NASCAR 14 later on. Maybe it'll be Battlefront. Maybe it'll be Call of Duty. Maybe it'll be Halo. Maybe it'll be something. I don't know. Maybe it'll be Knights of the Old Republic even. Who knows? Only I.